Hey, welcome to Watt Corner with Guido. Today I'm bringing you two videos back to back. This is Karelia Assault. I'm going to give you one from the attacking side and one from the defensive side. So Assault. Assault is a mode that a lot of people turn off. I actually have it on because I enjoy the challenge for one, and number two, I think it gives you a different view of the map, and number three, it gives you a different mode. If you get bored with the standard mode, then Assault's one of them. However, a lot of people believe that Assault is probably the least balanced of all the three modes, so a lot of people will turn it off. Like I said, I leave it on. Because a lot of people turn it off, they don't really know how to play it. So let's talk about this for a couple seconds here before we get going. On the defensive side, which is up here in the northwest, you're going to find a lot of people think they want to hang out behind these rocks over here and these rocks here. They're going to turtle up in this little corner of the map. Anybody who understands map control is going to immediately realize that giving up 3/4 of the map is a really bad idea. So you need to attack. Likewise, on the attacking side, you're going to want to get up here into the northeast and down into the southwest and then push in there. Obviously, you've got to get to the cap to win. That seems a little more apparent on the attacking side. On the defensive side, teams who turtle up in this corner usually have a bad time. So what does that mean? It means that this corner and this corner are the most important parts of this map. Teams who don't contest it, either attacking or defense, it's a little bit rare on attack because people understand they've got to get up there. Especially on defense, if you don't contest it, you're going to lose. Oh, thanks AMX30, I appreciate that one. Oh, he said sorry. Excellent. So you can see that our team is going to head up there, and immediately something you're going to notice is you've got several tanks who've turned around and are heading up to this middle sniping hill, even an AMX CDC. I don't like that. I do not like it when people go up to that middle hill. Maybe a TD or two is fine, but if you get too many tanks, in this case we've got 1/5 of our tanks headed up there, it can really limit your capability. Why? Because from here they can't quite reach this corner where the brawl is going on, plus there's a lot of cover, and they can't quite reach, although they have a little easier time reaching this little corner right here if a brawl develops there. They're kind of counting on getting some sniping shots here. They really can't see much further than about the cap draw range, and spotting range is going to become an issue, as you'll see here. So our team is heading up here, a couple scouts. When I'm going to scout, I'm going to come up to this top hill here. I may not sit here and slug it out, but I do want to let my team know what's up here. Got the 103, the AMX30, a couple guys kind of going to the middle. I'll show you how I'm working my view right here. Okay, so this is about the only bush right here that's left, a little bit here in front of me next to that tree. There used to be several up here, but it's really the only spotting spot where you can stay invisible. I'm going to make good use of it. Why? Because this team here is going to fail to push up into this corner. Watch how this develops. Knocking down that tree was not ideal. That lets somebody know, especially Artie. Artie, you can at points zoom in right there knowing people are going to move in there, so it's possible I could have got blind shot. So you're going to see me do a lot of moving in and moving out because I'm sort of expecting to get spotted here, but it's not happening. I'm also shooting into the side of the spaced armor of the T10, which is really not going to work out, especially with heat. I'd have probably done better off with AP. Then I'm going to shoot his track because I'm rushing shots a little bit, and I do it again. Don't ask me why. And I go, oh right, maybe I should hit his armor here. It actually goes high and hits the side of his turret. Alright, I'll take it. Rather be lucky than good. So what we got going on here is usually I can't use that bush because there's somebody here proxy spotting me. I'll show that off to my side right there, that 103. There's usually someone tucked in there, or potentially there's somebody a little bit closer down in this area, or a scout down in here that's going to spot me, but you'll see that it's not happening this time. Get back to what I'm doing. There we go. Now I'm just waiting. Now the enemy team did contest this south corner, so at least this group of tanks knew what they were doing. But up here we've got a bunch of tanks hiding out in the back, and we're just going to start working on them here. I'm going to be cautious because right now, while I know I'm getting shots and not being seen, People are always moving around, so they could move up another tank. They do have 2 scouts. Even that AMX-30 is getting shots off right there. I'm sort of expecting someone to come up here and start lighting us, because look how many tanks we've got. We're just really tearing these guys up. You can see a really lucky shot here in a minute on that guy. Oh, hey. All right, so that's an example of a tank with decent view range that's come forward. I've pushed out and shot him. Immediately shoot him and pull back, because I'm expecting to get split, which I did not. Spotted was the word I wanted. There we go. And again, just in case. Now I'm starting to really rack up a little bit of damage here. Obviously flinging a lot of heat, which is not necessarily a great idea on a couple of these. But I've got a tournament set up on this tank, and I just don't bother to move it and change it out. Is this the really lucky shot? I think it is. Yeah. So lots of weird angles on that. I just drop it on top of that hatch. And we'll just keep on working it. You can see down in the southwest that fight is developing. We've got enough tanks there, and although they contested it, they really didn't send that much over there. They've really turtled up. Look how many guys they have in the A4, 5, and 6 area, just all sitting there. The furthest forward tank they have is that M103, and he's sitting in that little hole. Little side shot on that side armor. And again, just being cautious. There's one of their scouts, just kind of watching what's going on. Really surprised the track didn't eat that shot. And since I'm not getting spotted, I'm just going to hang out there a little bit. Oh, here we go. There's another guy that could potentially see me. Interestingly, did not. And again, it's just working on view range and draw range. And you can see then on the attacking side, as these guys are turtled up here, we have plenty of draw range. So anything that gets spotted in here, and you've got crossfires from the guys up on the hill if they're close enough, guys over here, so that's several avenues of fire. They can hide behind the rock all they want, but they've got to poke out to see us. If they don't poke out to see us, then we'll actually move up underneath them and get right up in their face. So it's a catch-22. While it seems like a strong defensive position, if you don't have anybody up here forward spotting these guys, the position's worthless because you don't have anything to shoot at. And every time you poke around to see if anyone's moving up on you, you're getting slapped. Now I've got an AMX CDC working in the middle, lighting them from behind. And you can see that this whole position is compromised. I've got the draw distance, I've even got the view range, and in fact that T-54 is well within view range, but the bush helped me out. And you can see that it's just really going poorly for him. Low comes out. Now I'm getting greedy and cocky. Oh, I'll rush that shot. This poor low just keeps coming out trying to make something happen, and he's just getting wrecked. Well angled, so that's unlikely to go through, especially with heat. If I was smarter, I'd be swapping back and forth for the appropriate shot. You can see that we're not necessarily winning by a long shot, but they've just given up too much map. And as we get down to the end game here, where they just don't have that many tanks, because they've given up so much map control, they're in trouble. And you can see the grill is saying it's a trap. And now it's time to move. So I really kind of sat there sniping for a long time, but it was working. Had it not worked, I'd have had to do something else. I'm going to shoot this guy in the face like a moron. Don't know why I do that. I'll auto aim. I should have just come right around to his side and shot him like that to begin with. That's one of those techniques. If you know you've got the hit points and you're going to go around him like that, don't waste the front shot. Just take the hit if he's going to hit you. That guy missed, so good on him. I should have auto aimed that guy and fired. Another missed opportunity. And there he goes. And the Bulldog. So we'll deal with the Bulldog. And you can see that now they're just collapsing. There's only 3 tanks left. They just gave up too much map control. We were able to work around them from every angle. I thought I was going to be able to kill him on this shot. I actually don't. Bulldogs are dangerous this way. It takes me quite a while to reload, and he's got that clip, so just sitting there pounding away. And even if he's not the guy with the autoloader, the other gun is faster firing than mine. So if I'd have had less hit points, that would have been a real bad idea. And we'll handle this object 704. I'm looking over there in case that guy's trying to shoot me. That's a grill. He'll end my day. And clean up on aisle 4 at this point. So So I've got 3,500. I'm going to miss a shot here. Someone's going to hit him once or twice and bring him down to basically very low hit points. Blap 1% and take him out. All right, so there you go. Karelia assault on the attack. Most people understand they've got to get to the southwest and northeast corner. Getting some scouts or somebody, a medium down here to light them. If the other team turtles up, like they did on this side, not necessarily down here in the southwest, if they turtle up, they're in a bad way. If you YOLO into it like a moron, yeah, they can do some good work like any defensive position can do. But if they sit there poking and don't have any spotting up here and there, and they're not aggressive enough to get up onto this corner, they're going to end up having a really bad day, especially against a competent team. As you can look at the teams, mine's pretty good. The other one's got a couple good players, but they just got outplayed thinking that turtling was the way to go. Now we'll move on to the defense side of Karelia, and we'll talk about that and how to make sure this, what happened up here in the northeast, doesn't happen to you. All right, welcome back. This is Guido. Walk Corner coming at you with the second video on the how to win at Karelia, this time on the defensive side. Last time I had a scout, I went up to the northeast corner and we were able to wreck a team that turtled up. This time I'm in my IS-6 and you're going to see me come up here into this northeast corner and we'll talk about how you don't get rolled up by turtling. Karelia defense. I already discussed it in the first video, but you're always going to find a bunch of people wanting to hide behind all these rocks that seem like a really good idea. Don't be that person. Be the person that gets up here or alternately down here into the southwest. Stop them from taking this hill or sweep them off if you get enough power to do so. At the very least, creating lights and a roadblock to them turning this corner and shooting down at will into your campers down here. Somebody is always going to camp, right? Oh, I didn't see that bulldog. That's funny. He went up on, I did not see that in game, or I could have just backed up and knocked him down. Holy cow. But as I was saying, there's always going to be campers. Look, the Mutts has already decided to camp. The AC-46, okay, it's a TD, got it. Not a bad idea. We are pushing down here into the southwest. Excellent. And we've got a Jag 8.8 Yag Tiger sitting back there. Not necessarily a bad thing. I don't really expect an 8.8 to go trundling up there, although he could. But that's not a bad position. Like I said then, you're going to always have some guys sitting back. And that's fine. But what you need to do, because you want to be the decisive player, is get up here and get in their face. Now, you're always going to find someone early. Some of these light guys, some of these little guys. Initially, I wanted to get up there and shoot that T-37, but then the 122S showed up. Of course, I bounce off of them with gold. These guys are going to really not like my radio. It's pretty funny. All right, so I've got a bunch up here, right? A couple things to know as you're working this corner right here. There is no arty in this game. However, if there was, if I back up a little bit more into that little opener, is that a word? More open area, arty can shoot into there depending on where they're positioned. So be aware of that. You're more or less safe at this position right here. Look at all those guys back there waiting to shoot into anything that comes around the corner. So the trick here is to get in there and get your shots in. Try to bait them to come around, but not drive around the corner enough that you get perma-tracked and wrecked by all those dudes sitting there. I'm in pretty good shape here. I've got a heavily armored IS-6. None of those things are particularly wicked against it, although the 8.8 will shred it if it's got APCR. And the Tiger, if he's smart, has enough DPM to perma-track me and to pin if he hits me in the right spot. So let's see how they do here. Look at this. The Tiger wants to come down already. I can't quite reload in time, and they destroy my radio because they hate my radio for some reason. Uh-oh. Alright, so that shot goes under. For some reason I repaired my radio. That I did not realize I had done, so that was a genius move. No, not really. And another bounce. That's 4. of my gold gone. And you can use guys like the Churchill to your advantage. They're busy, because he's on the outside, they're busy shooting at him, so you can kind of sneak out. There goes my radio again. You can kind of sneak out and take your shots. Now I've got to get to the lower plate of that JT, and even with my 175 pen, which I'm now shooting, I can actually pen that guy. So how are we doing? Well, we've at least got them stoppered. They're not coming around the corner and wrecking our guys. They do have a scout in the middle that's causing us issues. But again, I've got a bunch of friends back there having a good time shooting these guys. Now they sort of know they got to get rid of me, and they will if they can. That is a weak spot right there on the prototype, kind of up under his road wheel, plus he's a little over angled there, and I'm going to take advantage of that. Again, I'm just angled here. I'm going to shoot him in that same spot. Keep wrecking my radio, man. And ammo wrecked. Okay, so we'll keep working it. We've taken a lead here. The southwest is covered. There is some dudes cruising around the middle causing us some issues, but we've stoppered them in the north, unlike the game before. Maybe a little over angled here. They really hate my radio, although I seem to be getting tracked here. No, I'm not getting tracked. That may be a mod issue, actually. They may actually be hitting my track right here. I didn't notice that in the game. There's something very weird going on there. Alright, so we're going to keep working on this Tiger. That was a nice job on it for him right there. He did track me on that one. So it looks like the track thing is working out right, so they were shooting my radio. I'm going to do the same here, try to track him a little bit too far to the left. As soon as I repaired, I moved back because I wasn't reloaded. That spoiled his shot a little bit. We'll keep just working on him. There he goes again. I'm more out in the open, so the Tiger's going to have a much easier time with me. Yeah, it just takes a bad shot and dies. So this is well in hand, right? We've come up here into the northeast. We stopped them. We're actually now sweeping them off the hill. Our southwest guys did fine. They did the same thing. They moved up enough to light them and take them out down on the southwest. And their middle push wasn't effective enough to get any crossfire, although we did lose some guys sitting there in the middle to it. And it is just clean up on aisle 2 at this point. And I see this little E25. Didn't actually realize he was up there till right then, even though he had been lit. Didn't pay attention to him enough. He's going to have a hard time penning me unless he's shooting gold and hitting my lower plate kind of thing. No sense in giving him free shots. There he goes, and we'll just turn to the right. Okay, let's talk about now that you've won this, and let's say it was a closer game. You have two decisions at this point once you sweep them off, either in the southwest or the northeast. The decision is to continue back around behind here and try to take out anything RD or TDs, or to turn around and go back to cap. I would say the majority of the time, turning around and going back to cap is the best idea, even if it looks like they're okay over here, just to make sure that you can stop any push up to your cap, and then you can, if you need to, go back around and come up behind them, or as these guys come around and light them, you can shoot across up here onto the hill. If it is any type of close game, let's say the Southwest had lost and they are pushing the cap, it's easy. It's 100%. Turn around, go back to cap, and deal with those guys. If it's very permissive like this, you may think about coming up and around behind. Although, obviously here, we know where the 3 tanks that are live are. There's no reason for me to drive around. But say that you knew there were a couple TDs or already back here. Okay, they won in the Southwest. You've won up here. They're not threatening to cap. Yeah, trundle down through here and take them out. That's also going to change what kind of tank I'm driving. Is it a fast light or a fast medium? I'd be more prone to blitz down here and cause issues with them. In a heavy, slow tank, IS-6 is right at that kind of limit. More than likely, I'm going to come back to cap. I might actually push in. What I would avoid doing is pushing straight through the middle unless it's a very winning situation, much like you're seeing right here. Because if you just push out here and get seen, these guys can tear you up pretty quick if they had TDs sitting up there. And we're just going to trundle down here and make the rest of this game work out in our favor. So 4.4k damage, only 2 kills, but I get up there, I get the spots. We stop them from taking the hill. The Southwest stops them from taking the hill, and that, friends, is how you win Karelia defense. You do not win Karelia defense by sitting behind all these rocks and giving the enemy team 3/4 of the map to work with, as you saw in the video before. Just see how this turns out. I get spotted. There's a Skoda down in the middle there. And this is what I said earlier. You don't really want to blitz to the middle unless it's a very permissive environment like you've got going on right here. I'm just charging forward, trying to get another few hit points of damage if at all possible. Yeah, that guy said, what about us being doomed to fail? Somebody did mention that. And XVM said 37% chance to win. Gotta like the dog coughing in the middle of your video. Actually bounce. I bounce off 5100 right there. Why not? So 4.7. I don't remember if I actually get the kill on this guy. How's it go? Dun 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 dun. 2% Bulldog getting in there. IS-3A. Is he reloaded? Can he kill a few before he dies? There he is. Can't see him. That's what technique I'll use, actually. We'll talk about that real quick. If I'm driving and trying to get closer to my work, if you put the cursor right on him, look for the silhouette. If you see a silhouette, then go ahead and stop and try to aim in. If there's no silhouette there, keep trucking because he's probably still behind something, rather than just stop and sort of search around. So it's just one of those techniques to get a shot in faster. Hey, I did get him. Ends up with 4 kills, 4.9K. That is how you win on Karelia defense. Take it easy.